What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Austin Show. Today we're looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends 3-pack. So in this set we get Spider-Man, Iceman, and Firestar, all a part of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, the 1981 TV show. So it looks pretty cool. So we have Spider-Man, of course, had a lot of Spider-Mans. We get a new Iceman where he's all ice and has like a cell shading, so that looks pretty cool. And then we have Firestar, which we've had in the last couple years, the first time getting that figure. So this isn't really a necessary set, but it's got some cool designs and figures, and we got this from the Hasbro Pulse sale, so we got a really good deal on it, so we decided just to go and pick it up, and it just looks really cool. I love the look of all three figures there, and if we spin it around, we can see our three characters on the back and all their accessories that they come with, so they just look really cool. So I'm really excited to check the figures out. Like I said, it's kind of stinks that we already have them all, but at least there's some updates or changes to them, so that's the best thing about it. So I'm still excited to check them out. So let me get it open and out of the box, and we'll take a look at it together. Well, let's start off with Spider-Man, but before we do, let's talk about the show Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. It was a 1981 animated television series that featured the Spider Friends, which is a trio of Spider-Man, Iceman, and the new character creation of Firestar. And they were college students at Empire State University, where they lived with Peter's Aunt May and her dog, Miss Lion. And as I mentioned, Firestar was a new created character because they want to have Spider-Man with a fire and ice friend, and so they were going to have Iceman and the Human Torch, but due to like copyright reasons or whatever, they weren't allowed to use the Human Torch, just like the Fantastic Four animated series wasn't allowed to use them, so they had to come up with a new character and created Firestar. But for this Spider-Man, I think he looks pretty good, just kind of looks like your generic Spider-Man, nothing too crazy. We've seen so many different Spider-Mans, so this one isn't too much different. So he's got the darker blue color, like normal blue towards the darker blue, with the normal red throughout the body with the webbing, has the spider on his chest, of course his wide eyes with the black outlining around on his back. He's got the spider there in red, like I said, just the red and blue running all throughout the body, and this is based off the Amazing Fantasy 15 body, so I'll show you that comparison, but we can definitely tell it's that because it has the hole for the webbings there under his arm. But other than that, it just looks like a normal Spider-Man, so just another Peter Parker Spider-Man figure to add to our collection. But for movements, the head can twist all the way around, a little bit stiff there in the head, and can look down that far and up that far, so good movements as usual. The shoulders can come up to 90, especially you gotta push it down to get it all the way up there to 90 with the butterfly joint. Then the shoulder can rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that bends all the way up on itself, so really good there. The wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. Ab crunch in the midsection, so we have the cutout along in there, so crunch back and forth a little and can twist all the way around. And then we have the lower crunch as well, so little cutouts to the side that can go forward and back. So with both the crunches, you get that far forward and that far back, so really far back, but pretty standard for forward. The hips can come up to 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist all the way around. A double knee joint that can bend to the back, almost kicking his butt. Shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot flexes back and forth and twists side to side. So this isn't the new body with all the movements because it doesn't have the toe joints, but it still has pretty decent movements with the additional ab crunch and stuff, and good bends at the knees and elbows, and as you can see, they are the pinless joints, so we are working with a new body here for sure. But overall, it's just another Spider-Man, so it's hard to get excited just about another Spider-Man. I like the colors at least, it's like the generic standard Spider-Man color, so I always like that. And accessory-wise, doesn't really come with much of anything, so he has a whip hand and a wall-crawling hand, so we get a set of fists to go along with him, so if we want to have him punching, or then we get the opposite set of hands, so a whip and a wall crawling again for those opposite hands, so we can have them matched up there. So again, nothing too exciting, no additional real fun accessories or anything with this, but as I mentioned, he is based off the Amazing Fantasy 15 body, so here's that figure there, and you'll see they are going to be exactly the same, obviously just different colors for that Amazing Fantasy color with the like almost black, but they still have the webbing slots there under the arm, so same body but just different colors. And so overall I do like this one much more because it's the standard Spider-Man, but as I said, it's just another Spider-Man, so it's not that exciting. And then we have Iceman, aka Bobby Drake, and he has the ability to manipulate ice and the cold by freezing the water vapor around him, allowing to freeze objects and cover his entire body with ice. So we've seen Iceman many times before, and this looks relatively similar to the body we've already had. Looks like maybe a little bit skinnier. I can't identify this body fully. Looks like we have some newer joints like butterfly joints with such a skinny body, and like the ab crunch looks a little bit weird in here, but overall it looks fine. It's not the best body figure wise, like I have some issues with it, but overall it does look like Iceman, just in the all like whitish almost gray color, and then it has the cell shading with the blue color down the sides and stuff. So I like the cell shading, and with that it looks like it'd fit in with like the VHS series figures, even though he's not in the show, but it could fit in with those pretty well with that cell shading. But overall I think it's cool to have him, but like I said, just figure wise it could be a little bit better and have some issues and stuff. And we have older joints, we have the pins in them, so don't know if that's it or just that it's an older body and that's what the issues are about. But yeah, it's not perfect. I still like him. Like I said, it kind of fits in with the animation style and stuff with the colors. So obviously not the best. He has the big like clunky head with all the sharp corners, but if he's covered in ice, I guess that would kind of be the thing. But he's got the all white eyes and then like I said, the blue cell shading there on the sides of him all throughout the body. And just the color's a little bit boring. Like if it was more of like a pure white or something, it'd be better. But with it being like this gray tint, I don't like it as much. So for the movements, we have the head that can twist all the way around, can look down that far and up that far. So really good movements. Again, shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly joint. So with this, the joint feels like it's going to fall out or something, but you can go back and forth, but it just feels like it's going to fall out in there with how much room there is. And the shoulders can rotate around. We had a bicep twist, the double elbow joint, and all these are really stiff, so can bend up that far, so almost all the way up on itself, which is good. The wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. We've got the ab crunch in the middle there, so crunch forward barely at all, so just a little bit forward and back a little bit. So not a lot of crunching, but it is in there. We get a twist around at the waist. Hips can come up over 90, which is pretty good, and out to the side. Thigh twist around, double knee joint that bends up that far. Again, about the same as Spider-Man, almost kicking the butt. And then the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So it's decent. There's nothing really too wrong with it. Like I said, some of the joints are pretty stiff on it, but just the overall like looking color, it's not my favorite, but it works for an Iceman, so I guess it accomplishes that. Now accessory wise, he's got some like wall crawling hands on there, but I guess those would just be for using his powers, but he does come with some additional hands. So we get some fist hands to go along if we want to have him punch the people. And then he also comes with his ice slide. So again, we've had this before as well, but it's more of that solid white color. So let's try and put him on this. So there he is on the ice slide. Again, it's really hard to pose him because you got the peg for his foot there, so it kind of puts him in that position. Then you just have to kind of reposition this foot up here. So you can't really do a whole lot, like can't get him to bend or do a whole lot of posing beyond just what he's got here. Just shape his hands to look like he's sliding or something, but it doesn't work out too well, but it still carries off the look. And as I mentioned, we have had the older figure, which is on a different body, but has like similar head and then comes with the ice slide as well. But this version of Iceman where he's in the nice like metallic white and stuff. So I probably would still like this Iceman more, but I do like this design. It's just overall, I wish the body was a little bit better and you could do more with the ice slide to get him posed up and everything there, but still pretty cool to have this figure overall to add with our Spider-Man and his amazing friends. And that brings us to Firestar, aka Angela Jones, and she has the ability to generate and manipulate microwave radiation that allows her to fly, create heat, and flames. So she just has fire powers pretty generically, but she looks pretty cool overall. And again, we've had this figure and pretty recently within the last couple years, but they've just pretty much taken the same body and just made it pinless. So we have pinless elbows and knees, but everything else about her is pretty much going to be the same, and we'll see that with the comparison. But overall looks good with the bright yellow spandex outfit with the high color, fits pretty good for the early 80s. Then she's got like the big eye covering so to hide her identity, but the red covering with the flares on the side, of course the red lipstick to go on there, her fiery red hair, and this has the like action pose or whatever, so it's blowing there to the side, so it looks pretty good hair wise. Again, that yellow spandex going down with the transition to the gloves with the orange into the red for fire and stuff looks good. Same down with the feet, so from yellow, orange to red there into the boots, but pretty standard for the female body. You know, everything looks pretty similar to it. Like I said, this one just has the pinless joints. But let's do her movements. Her head can twist around, should be able to twist all the way around. Yeah, hard to get with her hair around the collar and stuff, but it can twist around, and then she can look down that far and then up that far as well. So pretty good movements. And of course with this, the hair is a little bit more out of the way, so you can get a little bit more range. Then the shoulders can come up over 90 there and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist and the double elbow joint. That's a little bit stiff, but can bend all the way up on itself. So really good there with the wrist that can twist around and flex back and forth. We have the ab crunch right under her chest. So crunch back and forth and twist around. The hips can come up to 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist around. Double knee joint that bends up that far. Again, almost kicking her butt. And the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So good movements, but pretty standard for the female. So nothing too spectacular, but still looks really nice. And I like having the updated pinless body so you get more range in those elbows. But accessory wise, she comes with a head with the hair down, so let's go and switch this out. So there's that head, and I like it quite a bit. It's nice, you know, not to always have the hair in action pose, but it looks pretty nice. She has different like glasses piece or whatever, so this one comes up with more of a design. And I like the hair, how it has the shading in it, so it's got like darker strands running through it, and just overall looks pretty nice there. And like I said, I really like this design. I probably prefer this one much more. She comes with some additional hands, so she has again like the wall crawling hands, but then we get a set of fist hands once again. To show her flame powers, we do get some flame effects we can put up her arms. So there's those flame effects, and it looks pretty good. Of course, our standard just flames that just wrap around the arms a little, so don't always work out the best, but they look pretty decent there, again showing some of her flame powers. And then just like the last Firestar, we also get Miss Lion, so nice nice here for the little dog. Just this time she's in more of this brownish or blonde color, but looks pretty good. I love the little bows on her ears there and stuff, and looks really cute, and the head does have some movement so it can twist around. But other than that, it's a solid figure, but looks pretty nice there, and we'll have to look at the comparison. So there's our Firestar, so let's bring in that older one. So here's the older Firestar. So again, it's going to be the exact same figure pretty much. They just switch from the single elbow joints to the double now, and then the pin knees to pinless, but everything else is going to be same and has that alternate head. And for Miss Lion there, you can see the difference between the two. So it went from gray to a blonde color there. So not really sure which one it was exactly in the show, but either way, it's the exact same dog, just different colors, but both are really cute. Well, that's we have for our Spider-Man and his amazing friends 3-pack, where we got the Spider Tree of Spider-Man, Iceman, and Firestar. All of them are pretty decent. Of course, they're not all figures we need to have. We've had plenty of Spider-Man, so don't need it. Iceman, we've had probably in better versions, but it's still cool to have the animated version with the cell shading. And then Firestar, this is a better version, so I'd prefer this one more, but they're still pretty much the same figure, so you just get the double elbows is really the only big improvement here. So this isn't a necessary pack, which is why we didn't pick it up originally, but when it went on sale on Hasbro Pulse, we decided just to go ahead and pick it up, and I feel pretty glad that we did. So let me know what you thought of these figures down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this review, let me know with a thumbs up. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.